What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is the show where I take all your questions and answer them here on this show. I'm your host, Alex Hampton, and it is a pleasure to have you guys come back and watch this episode. We are now at 40 episodes. This is episode number 40 on Ask Alex. We launched this show back in 2019. And now it's such a great milestone to achieve 40 episodes. So thank you guys for continuing to watching. And if this is your first time ever watching any of my videos, I would like to personally welcome you to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. That way you get all the notifications of every time I'm releasing a video on this channel. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And also, if you want your topic or question on this show, all you have to do is just send me an email at theaskalexshow@gmail.com. That's theaskalexshow@gmail.com. You could potentially get your question on this show if you just simply send me an email, or you can tweet me at Mr. Alex Hampton, or leave a comment under my Instagram at Mr. Alex Hampton. Yo, there's a lot of great things I want to dive into today. This is going to be a very interesting show, and I can't wait to go into the first topic. And the first topic comes from a Brittany Knox, and she writes, "Hey Alex, so I noticed that people are not watching movies or TV shows because of what they read on Rotten Tomatoes or any other movie site. Do you think that these media sites are ruining the movie experiences for everyone?" Well, thank you for your question, Brittany. So here's my thing with with movie reviews and movie sites. As a movie pundit and as a consumer of movies, right? I personally have to put my preconceived notions about a movie at the door when I go see the movie, and then evaluate it by my own thoughts and theories of what I thought of that particular movie. Now, I will say this. The reason why people like me and anyone else review movies is just to give people their overall thoughts of what they thought of that particular film. Now, as a movie reviewer, whether it's Rotten Tomatoes or independently on YouTube or any other space, you have to be very careful, and you have to be very, you have to have a linear perspective of that particular movie. And what I mean by that is that if you're going to say a movie is trash, or if you're going to say a movie is great, you have to say it in a way where you didn't personally enjoy it, but leave it open for your viewers to go see the movie. Personally, I love watching movies and reviewing them. And there's some movies that I hate, and there's some movies that I love. But I have to do a good job as the movie reviewer to point back to saying, hey, even though I didn't like or did like this movie, I want you guys to go still see this movie and form your own opinion about it. Now, I've learned over the course of making a whole bunch of mistakes in reviewing movies that you should never tell someone, do not go see a movie. You know, don't rent this movie. No, you can't do that. That's how you create a bad stigma on your brand. And or just not only on your brand, but just as yourself, just as a person, as yourself. So I personally do not tell people do not see those types of movies anymore. I don't say that anymore because, you know, at the end of the day, that's a decision that you're going to have to make for yourself. Now, also, I want to keep in mind, every review that comes out for a movie is an opinion. It's an opinion. So, I don't need, for instance, you should not take my opinion as God testament to judge whether you should go see a movie or not. You should not. I think you should listen to my opinion and others' opinions of what they thought about the movie. But as far as judging whether you're going to go see a movie based off my opinion, I would advise you to rethink that. Now, I will say this. There are people out there who are easily influenced by what other people say. I get it. That's the type of world that we live in. However, I do believe that people should make their own decisions before they go see a movie. Personally, before I go see a movie, I don't watch reviews or read reviews of a movie that I haven't seen yet. I'll go see it and then evaluate my own opinion about it, and then look at other reviews that have been said. But personally, I don't watch, because here's the thing, I don't want that review that I read or watch dilute my perspective of what I'm going to perceive the movie to be. You know, like I said, prime example, there are a lot of movie reviews that came out about X-Men Dark Phoenix saying that it was trash, it was garbage, and don't get me wrong, it's not that great of a film, but it's definitely not trash. You know, there are definitely some redeemable parts in the movie. I didn't really think it was that bad. I went to go see the movie. I didn't think it was that bad. It's clearly it's not Avengers, and it's definitely not a top tier comic book movie, but it's definitely not what people are making it seem to be. And I think that when you hear people say how much something good or something bad is, which again, it's not necessarily a bad thing to hear those types of opinions, you have to still put your preconceived notions about that movie and what you heard about the movie at that door, and then go evaluate it for yourself. If you don't go see a movie because you heard bad things about it, you're not giving that movie a chance. Just like if you don't go see a movie because you heard good things about it, you're still not giving that movie a chance. So I would recommend that you give a movie a chance before you listen to any reviews or watch any reviews. So thank you for your question, Brittany. Let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Steve Jonas. And he writes, "Hey Alex, so there is a whole lot of controversy about the Dave Chappelle Netflix special Sticks and Stones. Did you watch his special, and what do you think about comedians doing edgy material?" Well, thank you for your question, Steve. So, what Steve's referring to, literally the last couple weeks, Dave Chappelle put out Sticks and Stones on Netflix. And I believe this is his, third or fourth Netflix special that he's released on Netflix. And I did see the special, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. It's hilarious. It's literally, he's taking you on a journey where he's just breaking down everything that has happened in society, and I laughed my butt off. He has this attitude where I'm gonna say this, and if you don't like it, oh well, I'm still gonna say it. And again, you know, comedy, in my opinion, comedy is supposed to be edgy. You know, now, with all this controversy surrounding it, before I jump into the controversy, let me just say this. I am able to separate a lot of things that Dave Chappelle and other comedians talk about when I'm watching a comedy special or at a comedy club, right? There are things that they're going to say that are going to get on people's nerves. That's what comedy is for. When you look at, you know, Richard Pryor, when you look at Eddie Murphy, when you look at all these other comedians, Red Fox, Sinbad, like these guys talked about things that hurt people's feelings. In particular, the LGBTQ community, they talked about them. They talked about black people, white people, Hispanics. They talked about Asian people. Comedy, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. And here's the thing. My thing about Dave Chappelle is that, listen, if you know for a fact Dave Chappelle is very edgy, he did the Chappelle Show, which should tell you something. His last few specials on Netflix were edgy as well. If he did these edgy things and you know for a fact that he's an edgy comedian, don't watch his content. If you know for a fact that you're gonna get offended by what he's going to say, don't watch his content. What irks me is that these movie review sites, and what irks me is that cancel culture, or whatever you want to call it, is literally trying to demean and stop Dave Chappelle from embracing his art. And again, I don't agree with everything that Dave Chappelle says and does, but again, when I'm going to go see him live or on TV, I am there to be entertained. That's the whole point. Now, again, are there things that you may disagree with? Okay, great. I understand that, and no one's condoning his beliefs. I'm just saying, as a comedian, not me, but if he were, but a comedian, it's supposed to be edgy. If you like, I grew up watching Eddie Murphy's Delirious and Eddie Murphy's Raw. You put that in today's time, they would try to cancel Eddie Murphy. I'm surprised they probably haven't tried to cancel him now. You know, and he's doing a movie called Dolomite Is My Name. Have you guys ever listened to any of Dolomite's comedy tapes? I mean, the man was ruthless. You know what I'm saying? And Dolomite was hilarious. So, personally speaking, I feel as though that comedians have a liberty to take whatever situation they want and make it funny. That is their job. Nobody is off limits when it comes to comedy. So I think that this controversy should just, like, really just stop. You really can't cancel him. You really can't cancel him. And I encourage everybody to watch the special and evaluate it for yourself. So thank you for your question. Let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Thomas Lee. And he writes, "Hey Alex, so I don't understand why people thought that the Joker movie was going to cross over with the DCEU. I mean, Warner Brothers confirmed that this movie was never going to be a part of the DCEU. Well, thank you for your question, Thomas. I'm going to try to keep this very short. And I think that this is my problem with certain websites and even certain YouTubers that I know who run these types of stories and these rumor reports. Here's my thing. The Joker movie takes place, I believe, in the early 80s the early 60s or 70s, where Bruce Wayne is not even alive. I don't even think Bruce Wayne's family is even married yet. I'm not sure. You know, this is taking place in a certain time period where there isn't a Bruce Wayne, I don't believe. This Joker movie is basically a character study. It's not based off of any prominent comic book. So there are rumors that because Robert Pattinson did an interview and said, "Hey, I want you to retract my statements about what I made about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie," insinuating that he probably had said that Batman's going to meet with the Joker, or Robin Pattinson might make a cameo in the Joker movie. Whatever this nonsense is. And Todd Phillips basically confirmed yesterday that Joker is not a part of the DCEU. Listen, when this movie was announced back in, I believe, 2018, this movie was going to be outside the DCEU. And so far, it's been consistent with that. I'm very excited to see the movie, but I'm very disappointed that other media outlets are running a story that Robert Pattinson and Joker's movie, the Joker might combine and collide and meet up with each other in a future time. And I'm like, you know, I don't see that happening. And again, they've already said that wasn't going to happen. And again, it's not to say that it can't happen, but that was just, I think that's very irresponsible. Movie sites of doing that. So that's just my thing on that. Now we're going to jump into the final question of the day, which comes from a Cameron Johnson. And he writes, "Hey Alex, so it looks like the door is officially closed on SpiderMan being in the MCU for now. Do you think that Sony and Disney will work this out, or do you think Sony will make SpiderMan make a better Spider-Man movie without Marvel's help?" Well, thank you for your question, Cameron. So, I'll just say this. What Cameron's referring to is that the chairman of Sony Pictures, Tony, I can't pronounce his last name, it starts with a V, basically said, for now, for the moment, the door of Spider-Man being in the MCU is closed. They had fun working with Marvel. They're grateful for making 5 movies. And they basically said, you know, Sony had a hand in creating what we know as Spider-Man. Kevin Feige didn't do all the work, which I actually disagree with. And, you know, they basically put out all this PR bullshit. Because that's basically what it is. PR bullshit. That's basically what it is. But my thoughts on it is just, it's very simple. Let's just say that they don't make a deal with the MCU. My thing is that how do you do Spider-Man 3? Spider-Man Far From Home, spoilers if you haven't seen it. Mysterio is a direct connection to Tony Stark. He used to work for Tony Stark in the Foundation. Spider-Man's suit and who Spider-Man is a attachment to Tony Stark. Happy is involved. Other people within the MCU are involved. Nick Fury is involved. Now, you can still use Tom Holland and the other characters without the Marvel characters and make a linear storyline. But how do you address the cliffhangers and the events and basically who Spider-Man is without addressing what happened in the previous films / the MCU films? Like, how do you go about addressing that? That's always been my question. People have said that, well, Sony can make Spider-Man, you know, a little bit older and make a linear storyline and base it off the PS4 Spider-Man, which is not a bad idea. But again, you still have to address that a lot of who Spider-Man is has to do with Tony. I'm just saying it's a very messy type of thing. And not only that, to answer your question, do I think that Sony and Disney will make a deal? I think it's possible. I really do think it's possible. The door may be closed now, but I really think it's possible. And the reason why I say I think it's possible, Sony recently just put out a re-release of Spider-Man Far From Home. According to reports, a lot of fans did not go see that re-release because of all of the drama that has come out about Spider-Man. Now, I really do think if they don't make a deal by 2021, you know, I don't know how many fans are going to support it. We're going to have to see something drastically different from this Spider-Man. So, again, I don't know. I think that they will make a deal eventually, but I'm hoping that we'll probably see Spider-Man in Phase 5 of the MCU, but you know, we just never know. You know, these big two corporations. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to be a Patreon supporter on our Patreon, please go ahead and go to our Patreon and donate something to our channel. Every dollar you donate helps us create great content here on Momentum Media. And I want to personally thank you guys for watching this video. And as always, have a blessed day.